the two mics over to the left there just a little bit. Hold on.
Producer Kevin Cox put together a band of expert professionals to form the HR SLT. Inside one of Manhattan's most famous recording studios, the band gathered to speak about their successes, their relationships, the roadblocks along the way, and their need to reinvent themselves in order to stay on top. These are their stories, behind the transformation, the making of One HR.
Let's go. All right. And is it all on my shoulders? I really don't think so. I don't think of it that way. I am blessed with a terrific band. I'm the producer of this act. I don't play an instrument. I get to produce this act. I try to bring out the very best in the bandmates individually and collectively. That's really how I see my role. And I think we have some of the most talented musicians, most talented HR people in the world. And I wouldn't attempt a move like this without the strength of that team. If the band wasn't as good as I think it is, it could not pull this off. So I really do rely heavily. That load is shared, and I think it's shared evenly. I've got my part of that. I'm the producer. I'm the leader of this band. I own that, but I've got a tremendous amount of help, and this help I feel really good about. My name is Kevin Cox, and I'm the Chief Human Resource Officer for American Express, and that basically makes me the person in charge of this happy band of HR professionals all over the world. The band is a terrific collection of talent, and they're big personalities. They're as different from one another as you can be. They've got different gifts and they've got different talents, and that is the challenge of producing this band, and that's the joy of producing this band, is to try to get that to all come together. I want the audience, if you will, the business partners, to see absolutely not one missed note, not one bad beat. I just want it to flow from one role to the next role. And in order to do that, you first of all got to be very good at what you do, and you've got to know your role, and then you've got to trust your colleagues around that when it's their time to pick up the sax and go, you've got to trust that they can kind of handle that. You've got David as the Chief Learning Officer, who is willing to take a risk and willing to take a challenge, and he wants to fundamentally change the way we think about learning and we think about training at American Express. Robert's a guy that you rarely see break a sweat, who makes it all look really easy. He inspires incredible confidence from people who work for him, and he inspires incredible confidence among our business partners. Over to David Kashash, our comp and ben head. David's a guy who cares incredibly about the employee experience. He cares incredibly about the level of service the HR function ultimately provides. David's ability to take on huge challenges and to really go for it and really create solutions no one's ever thought about before, the creativity behind that, I think is magic, and I think he's great at that. Gabby is known as somebody who is a very, very decisive, very, very action-oriented leader in our function. Her passion and her belief in sort of doing what needs to be done is the reason that you want Gabby in your band. Kathleen is one of those band members that is always up for a new challenge. And I think any band needs a player or two who likes to pull the band together and who enjoys collaborating. And I think Kathleen's one of those band members. Kim is our newest member, actually, and what I have seen in Kim is a serious commitment to do the right thing. And I admire that diligence and that confidence in herself and her ability to go for it. This is a big world that we look after, and Carrie, more than most of the band, is charged with kind of keeping track of people in every time zone on this globe. And what I'm amazed by in Carrie is her ability to take her leadership style, which is infectious, and to mold and adapt that leadership style to the various cultures and nationalities and norms around the world. Patrick's a guy who doesn't come from a traditional HR background, and his ability to learn, this would be the band equivalent of a guy who had grown up playing keyboard and he decided, I'm going to be a drummer now. Coming into HR and learning how we think and how we do things and leading the competency work that he and his team have led really shows me a dedication to the craft of HR and a commitment to learn and to better himself that is incredibly impressive. Transform HR has been a hard concept, I think, for a lot of people to understand. And in fact, that's a big part of the reason that we're putting this together, is to try to help convey what we mean by transform HR.
One HR to me is about looking to the future. It's about figuring out what makes the most sense for us in the business and making sure we could support the business in the best possible way.
If I tell a story about what Transform HR is, it's about stepping up the game. This is about the ability to ensure that we continue to evolve, continue to grow, and continue to support the business as they themselves have to look at growth.
I think it's our attempt to make sure that we are lockstep with the business as they are on their transformational journey.
We have very talented individuals in different functions that, independent of one another, can get some good things done, but together with everybody else, we can make some tremendous things occur.
So transforming HR is about having one American Express on the ground in our locations around the world, working collectively to help the business with its growth initiatives.
There's a reason why we're transforming HR. Sometimes we're hard to do business with, and so I think our employees and leaders would love to interact with us in a much better way, a more seamless way, an easier way.
It's about developing insightful strategies. It's about anticipating what the business needs.
For me, as the Chief Learning Officer, I'm really excited about the development opportunity for each of our HR employees. This means great HR jobs, it means great careers in HR, and this is all part of that journey, and I think people should be really excited about that.
We don't want to become irrelevant.
It's about making us easier to do business with. It's about taking out any of the complications so that we can help the business leaders sort of clear the decks for growth.
This is our way of making sure that we respond to the needs of the business and transform ourselves and keep up with the times of where the business is going.
First of all, I think American Express has a great reputation for HR and the quality that it has provided for a long time, long before I ever got here. But we always owe the business something more. And so we have an opportunity from a position of strength to actually go for greater.
We have a lot of talented individuals, and you point them in a direction and say there's a problem, and they go after it. So from an event to an event sort of situation, we actually do quite well. The problem with that, though, is you don't have sustainability. And when you don't have sustainability, you end up wasting a lot of energy. So you think of it from an inefficiency standpoint. So we're great at recovery. We're great at doing something for the very first time. But to do it repeatedly, a sustainable, scalable way is the opportunity for us. And to get any kind of growth in the company, it requires us to actually do things in an efficient, sustainable way.
You know, I think American Express is a phenomenal company, and I am really proud of the human resource function within it. My team and I looked as far as we could see on the horizon, and we thought there's an opportunity here to find another level of excellence in the function, and that's really why we decided to do Transform HR. But business is not getting any easier, it's getting more challenging, and we've got to get ready to help the business address those challenges. And now's the perfect time to take advantage of this mountain that we've already summited and get ready to take it to the next level.